brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleeping moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awakened to lighten her load. Ooh, America's awakened to lighten her load.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I see this morning we have Nancy and Native Pride and Tammy. Good morning. Good morning. Jay Wells. I'm a homeless disabled senior veteran in a rural area town in a motel till my disability runs out. I don't know what to do or where to go from here. Well, Jay Wells, you have in the ticker in the bottom, I have both a phone number and an email. If you want to reach out to me, we can get very specific into your situation and try to get you some help. And thank you for being here, Jay Wells. We also have Voss, who's here. Who else? We said hello to Nancy. There's Bestie. Good morning, Bestie. Bestie had a little bit of fun last night and is paying for it this morning. Lady Jen is here. Good morning. And then we have Jessica Okie Fried. Okay. Did I miss anyone? I don't think I did. So, but if I did, please put something in there and I'll make sure I say hello to you. Okay, I don't know what that is. Oh, people are mad about the Trump administration because he put up like a patio. Oh well. Get over it. Get over it. Quit telling on you.
Sorry, I'm not interested in being friends with midgets. Midgets piss me
off. There was, or where was it? There was something. Oh, I wanted to talk about TC's not here. I'll be like, you talked about that without me on. Apparently, Russia wants Eastern Ukraine. As I said all along, they want the lands that they have conquered, and they're not going to back down until they get them, or until Ukraine conquers them back. It you just have two world leaders who do not care. They do not care about the people. Yeah, Putin tells USA he'll halt war in exchange for Eastern Ukraine. Yeah, he's not going to go for that. Uh, I'm just looking through all the headlines here to see what Qatar royal family owns more of London than King Charles. Well, most of the royal family's holdings are not in London, so Americans moving to Puerto Rico for lifestyle, staying for low taxes. Well, yeah, that's going to happen. I know a lot of Americans leaving the U.S., even though Puerto Rico is the U.S. But yeah, there's a lot leaving. Uh, I'm not seeing any big ones here. Uh, Miltavet. It's Yogi this morning. Hey Yogi, we got to get together, man. It's a shame I've been able to meet Chris in person before I met you, because we're only 3 hours away from each other. We got to fix that. Uh, uh, oh, they're. So I'm gonna look at your guys' things. If you guys haven't yet subscribed to Miltavet, here, that's Yogi. They're really good guys. I'm gonna pull it up and I'm gonna put the link because yeah, they're at 518 subscribers. A couple good veterans. They do a lot of stuff to help. There we go. And we just Yogi, I just had a veteran. He's in the chat here, Jay Wells. He's living in a hotel until his disability runs out. He's a veteran, so homeless veteran. So I told him how we could get in contact with me, but I'm gonna be live. I'm thinking for at least an hour. But yeah, did you guys see with the what the hail story? Did you see that Robbie's wife? Uh, ha- she's been giving public information to the fleas and yet um, denying uh, what do I say? Denying Jeremy. Now, for me, I did a public records request, and they want, they want money for it. That's fine. And I was like, I told them exactly. I looked at what they offered. I said, okay, yeah, here's how I want it. Uh, and they won't. They said they'd burn it to a CD and send it to me, or I can get paper copies. I said, no, you can burn it to a CD and send it to me. But they want a check. There was no way for me to just pay them. I have to mail them a check. So they are slow walking it. And the thing is, some government agencies do this thinking that I'm going to give up. Oh, I'm not. I'm not. I just didn't have a chance to deal with it this week. They will get their check. I will get my documents eventually. And after I get my documents, oh yeah, yeah, I will be requesting an interview. Um, Yeah, there is the veteran stand down. I was asked by another viewer if I was asked yesterday if I was going down to it. Probably not. Maybe, but probably not. That's just a long way for me to drive. Um, but I don't know where he is. So Jay Wells, if if you're still in here, reach out to Miltavet. If you're especially if you're in the San Diego area. But if you want to wait for me to get off the live, I'll happily talk with you and help you out. LP just found out the two Lees have been selling merch with their daughter's name on it. Yes, yes. All the people who claimed I was exploiting little HG because of because of this and because of the what was it? The picture that I posted. That's not exploitation. That's not exploitation at all. Selling merchandise, that's exploitation. And and all right, let's get into this, folks. And because they're selling merch using a little girl, it falls under Coogan's Law. Okay? Coogan's Law was named after Jackie Coogan. And I'll do more videos about Jackie Coogan. But Jackie Coogan was an actor. And when he was 5 years old, he was the most successful and highest paid actor in Hollywood. And his parents blew all the money, like 5 million back in the 1920s. They blew it all. So that's why Jackie Coogan went and they created Coogan's Law. So when you're using someone under 18 to sell stuff, okay, you're using their name, their image, their likeness, you have to set aside 50% of that for that child until they're 18. Do you think the fleas have done that? Do you think they're in compliance with Coogan's Law? I would venture to say they are not. I participated in a veteran stand down with the Red Cross, and it was a very big eye opener. I tell a lot of people, like, especially people who don't know anything, they ask me, "Well, is the VA that bad?" I'm like, "Go volunteer there. Go volunteer at your local VA. You tell me. You tell me how great they are." Because that's where I first had my interaction as a Marine. I went and volunteered. They had us volunteer at the Ann Arbor VA. And I just sat and talked with several veterans, and it was very eye opening. Yes, he starred on the original Addams Family. He was Uncle Fester. That was Jackie Coogan, and he is the namesake for Coogan's Law. Sorry, I'm looking. A new headline came up. Well, here's the thing. Um, I don't think they can just start a trust for. I don't think you can just start a trust for a child. Um, I think you have to have the permission of the guardian. You're in rural Oklahoma. Okay, okay, that's okay. Um, I do know people in Oklahoma. How where they're at in Oklahoma, I'll have to take a look. I wanted to say Oklahoma City, but I'm not 100%. But you know how that is. People say Oklahoma City even though they're an hour outside of it. So, and you might want to contact that stand down because I do know the North County stand down. I know they got people who were not in North County that contacted them, veterans who contacted them, and just said, "Look, I need help." So that link that Yogi got while we're here, you might want to click on that and even call some of their people. Um, so yeah, Gabe is Uncle Fester. Have you heard about Ammon Bundy? Federal bankruptcy denied his Chapter 7 bankruptcy petition for 52 million. Um, I have not heard that. Um, There are problems with the Bundy case, uh, like legally. Um, so I'd be interested in looking at it. I'm not going to say anything until I look at it, because some of the things he did, didn't 100% agree with. Some of the things I did agree with. Yeah, Jessica, you're in Oklahoma. The biggest thing I would say for Jay Wells is to uh, reach out to your local VFW, American Legion. Those both have unmet needs. Um, but here's the big thing, okay? There's charities that will help you. They're not just veterans charities, but there's a bunch of charities. Um, I would reach out to them because I guarantee you the commanders of those places have a direct line to the veterans liaison at your local congressman. And you're like, what are they going to do? They will, well, first off, for something like if you have any claims, they can get those fast tracked. Okay, if you have pending claims, they can get those fast tracked. Second thing they can do is there is federal programs out there that give money to charities. Well, guess what? All that money comes with strings attached. And some of those strings attached means they have to specifically help veterans. So, you're in Southeast Oklahoma. Okay. So I would reach out to them and they will put you in contact with the congressman's office. And and it's always good to and I've done this. It's always good to have people advocating on your behalf. You're more likely to get help if someone is calling the congressman's office for you and saying, "Hey, I've been helping this veteran. Um, you guys need to help this veteran." M- They'll still help you if you call, but it's funny when you call on someone else's behalf, you get more responsive stuff. In general, in general. Uh, but here's the other thing that I'll tell you, and I say this to everyone: you have to take ownership of this. Whatever issues that you're dealing with, you have to take ownership of. If you come to me or to your American Legion and you're expecting us to solve the problem, we can help, but we can't be your solution. But um, we can be someone who opens doors, who gets you help, and along the way. You, so there's a lot of veterans who are like, "Here's all my problems, fix it." That's not the way it works. You will have to do some work. Um, the other thing I'll say is, I've got no problem, talking with you later on today. When we talk, try to stay focused on what the problems are, and we'll focus on solutions. Many times I get veterans who contact me and they don't want to talk about the problem. They want to give me the history of all the problems that they've had. And I get it. I've had problems with the VA. I've had struggles with the VA. Let's let's stay focused on I, I get it. Bad stuff happens in the VA, but let's stay focused on moving you forward, getting you help long term. But yeah, the both the American Legion and the VFW, I know for a fact those two. I don't know about the DAV. I just haven't worked with them. But those two have unmet needs loans that they can do, interest free loan for anything. But there's veteran housing programs out there, and I'm sure they work with them. Um, you might need to move. Just being honest with you, you're in rural Oklahoma, and yeah, you might need to move. And we've seen this with other people. We can get you help, but you also have to be amenable to that help. If you say, "Well, I'm not moving," okay, well then you've just taken all the stuff that we have, you've cut them in half because where you're at is very limiting. So know that. Know that. It's not a bad thing, you know. if your life can be better somewhere else, I'd move if I can. But I can't move right now because this is where my child lives and goes to school. There you go. Yep. Thank you, Yogi. Look at why are you guys not subscribed to Yogi? Look at that. He immediately comes forward. He's got phone numbers. There you go. The I am so glad that I've been able to come into contact with people like Chris and Yogi because this is what we do. Like I'm on live. We I know that I can send people to these other veterans who are doing this type of stuff and who have ways to help. That's the thing about us veterans. We have, it's hard. It is hard, but the more we stand together, the better it is. Um, Jesus, look at he is on top of this. And these are the type of things I'd be doing uh, when you get in contact with me. Um, I tend to go through the congressman's office only because they work with charities and know which charities are getting federal funding. And when a congressman is like, "Oh, if they start denying the veteran help," they're like, "Oh, well, maybe you don't need that federal funding." And trust me, every politician wants to be the politician helping veterans. Um, both sides. This is not a political issue. Both sides are a bunch of fuckers. Sorry, uh, Democrat, Republican, I don't care. They both use um, they both use veteran issues. They both do. Uh, but every candidate out there, for the most part, there's a couple that I'm shocked about. But every candidate out there really does want to be viewed as if they're the ones helping veterans. So there we go. I think we can you can still call me and talk, but I would start calling with these places that Yogi's given you because even if they can't help you, they might know someone who can. And this is where you have to take some ownership of it. I'm not saying that we're not going to help you. We will absolutely help you. Just know that there are also limits to the help. Yogi's Yogi and me are both in Southern California. We can help people better who are in California and better in Southern California. Here's the other thing, Mr. Wells. Think about if there is anything we can do. For instance, for Robert Tower, we did a Amazon wish list for him. He's not even a veteran, and he just was in a dire situation and said, "I need help," and we did an Amazon wish list. And I think he would say that we improved his life. He too is in a rural area, so if there's anything you need like that, and also be willing to accept help outside the box. When Robert first came to me, his truck was broke down. And he was like, I need to GoFundMe to fix my truck. When we started talking to him, the money he needed like $800, and it wasn't a guarantee that it was going to fix his truck, and his truck wasn't registered. So putting him in that truck would have probably gotten him arrested. So I said, okay, let's say I can't fix your truck. What can you do? And he's like, well, I just need some way to get to the grocery store. And I was like, how about we get you one of these electric bicycles where it's not a truck, but it's a way for you to get to point A to point B, and you don't have to walk 5 miles. And he was like, oh my God, that would be helpful. And we got him gift cards and stuff. We found him affordable e-bikes. Um, I, Me and Robert, we haven't done it's probably been a month since we've done a check-in, like a real, he comes in here, but I can tell you, we got him a new bed. He had a rat infestation, and we got him the glue traps. We got him ways to be able to put Rubbermaids and stuff for him to put all of his clothes in. We got him new clothes, new underwear. So we were able to get him some significant help to improve his life. Um, but he was fully willing to take um, outside the box. What do I say? solutions. I've had some people, some veterans who are like, well, I need this. And I'm like, well, I don't know if I can get you exactly that. Well, that's what I need. And I can't. It's like, well, you're putting the limitations on the help that we can give. And that's going to make it harder. Um, Now, if you're willing to think outside the box, I think we might be able to get you some good help. Just looking through all the headlines today. The Democrats still have not come back to Texas. I'm not going to talk about that. I'm saving something for tomorrow's show. I think we're going to do Veteran Nation Unexplained tomorrow. Look at that. Yogi's got some giving you numbers to some great programs. And that you can easily reach out to Yogi. I try to make myself, down here in the ticker is where I've got a phone number and an email for people to get in touch with me. Did he considers comeback at Madison Square Garden? There are people who will go. I'm thinking James Franco is coming to my town. Now, this is a very small town. He's coming here, and I'm considering going out and protesting him. For those of you who don't know, James Franco started an acting class and was promising the women in that acting class that he would help them get their careers going if they would sleep with him. A mystery leaker haunts the VP, scrambling secret Epstein meeting. Have you noticed that in this Trump administration, there's less leakers? And a lot of that is because, and I told people, a lot of that is because a lot of these people who were anti-Trump, when Trump lost in 2020, they all came forward and they were like, "Oh, he did this and did this," and they suddenly weren't anonymous anymore because they had no thoughts that he would come back. And now that they're back, pretty much he knows who was loyal, who was not. So that's why you're seeing less and less being leaked. How hard is it to start volunteering with the VA? You just gave me the idea to look into volunteering with them. Um, uh, I would just contact your local VA. It shouldn't be hard, and just be like, "Hey, I'd like to volunteer." Um, for me, it was all set up. Like, I don't know who set it up, but it was all set up through my battalion. I was attached to Navy NROTC, and they were like, "Hey, you Marines are going to volunteer at the VA next week," and I was like, "Okay." Uh, I'm looking. I missed a comment by Georgie. Where is it? How come when you tell certain people they need therapy, they lose their shit? Because some people don't want to acknowledge that something's wrong with them. They want to. Yeah, Meldevet, it's here. It's Yogi, not Chris. Um, but yeah, when you tell people something's wrong with them, they will be forced to look at themselves, and sometimes there's things about yourself that you don't like, and they don't want to face things about themselves they don't like. Avoidance is always a big thing, and I've been dealing with that um, with some of these, with like the whole. Told you guys this week there was a relationship ending of someone in my life, and it was highlighting the mental issues of everyone involved. Um, oh, I've got okay. TC's liking what I'm putting in our text chat. I email Miltovet and they never respond. They must be too important. I will, if you need contact, I do have a lot of contact information for Chris. Um, I, I, Yogi, are we? I don't know if we're Facebook friends. I've seen your stuff on the thing, but I can help you get in contact with them. TC, you can lead a horse to water, you can't make him drink. Yeah, some people are broke and just don't want to be fixed. The guys at Miltovet are good. They do. They've done some fun videos. I've tried to derail them. I've tried to go in their chat live and derail them. And I know, like, it's funny because I'll do it and they'll be live and they'll just like, I can tell they're looking at the chat of things I'm writing in there and they'll just smile and kind of shake their head. But yeah, um, not everybody wants to be helped. Oh, out near me, yeah, there was a massive brawl. Uh, not on a cruise. We've seen those videos of people fighting on the cruise ships. This was at the terminal, and it was at the Long Beach terminal. And I've been to this terminal, and yeah, there's a video here. Okay, so this is at the cruise terminal. Where am I? I gotta put myself. There we go. So this is outside. I've been to this place.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Oh, we are here. Oh, shit. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Oh, uh-oh. Oh. Uh-oh. Oh.
Hey guys, wait, mace, watch out. About the mace, watch out about the mace.
Watch out, the mace. I know people are like, "You're going on a cruise, aren't you worried?" No. I would love if a cruise. We're going on the cruise. I would love if a fight broke out on the cruise. I would love it. I'd be right there in the middle. I'd be like, "Are you going to take that from him? Hit his ass. His." I don't know if these are. I don't know what the protocol is for it to happen at the terminal, and this is right outside the terminal. There's like an area where you get dropped off, and then you walk in. Like there's a little bit up the road for it is where you stop and you turn in your bags. Okay, and you know they'll write your name down, put a thing on it, and then they take your checked bags, and then you pull up and you park, and then you take your carry on and you go into this area, and uh, I've changed, and I think my shit does. Yep, tomorrow, premiere of Veteran Nation Unexplained. Which, by the way, did we settle on a thumbnail? I got to get that from you guys today if we're doing that. Oh yeah, yeah. The VA's voluntary service. There you go. Actually, one of the biggest things that the VA needs is people willing to drive veterans to the VA and from the VA. Probably one of the biggest things they need. They have, they do have services that they contract, but those services have other stuff going sometimes. So yeah, going to word vomit in your DMs. It, yeah, I don't know what the protocol is because this they weren't even inside the terminal for this. I would imagine fighting inside the terminal absolutely can get you banned. Fighting on the cruise gets you an immediate lifetime ban. But being that they weren't in the terminal, I don't know. I don't know. You're in the Central Valley. I am coming up your way in a couple weeks. I will be in Monterey, California in a couple weeks. I don't know what impact that will have on the show, but I can promise you guys I can do some live streams. They have the seals up there. So I've been to Monterey. I was there, was it last year? It was either last year or the year before. Very beautiful town. Actually ran into one of my Marines there. Like I get a message, what the hell are you doing in Monterey? I'm like, how'd you know I was in Monterey? He's like, Snapchat maps. I was like, oh, okay. I was like, yeah, I'm up here. And the two of us ended up having drinks at a bar and just telling stories and laughing. We called other veterans that we knew. Yeah. Do you guys think Georgie will get in a fight on the cruise? Kanu may be coming on the cruise. He wants to go. And by all means, if he can. The more the merrier. I, that's the thing. If you have a good group, that I wonder if Yogi and Chris would be interested. Our cruise is out of Florida though. I maybe maybe we should do one next year from the West Coast. I did that one in 2023. Maybe Yogi and Chris would be up for doing a cruise out of the West Coast. Because so in the one we're doing out of Florida, it's going to be a bunch of military veterans and live streamers. Um, so yeah, no fighting. I, but I'm just saying the chance of me being in a fight not very big. Like, oh, there's Robert. Robert, we have a veteran in here who was looking for some help, and I was talking about how we were able to help you through an Amazon wish list. Are things going? Are things still better, Robert? Did you get your e-bike yet? You know what we should also do? Well, Temecula is like a halfway point for us, Yogi. We should do something in Temecula. Temecula is a beautiful town. You guys have seen my videos of Old Town Temecula. Um, but what I really want to do is go spend a day going wine tasting. They have like these. I w- they've got biking tours for wine tasting. I wouldn't be up for that because get a little bit too many. It might be hard to get back on a bike. So I do want to go on Alaskan cruise, and I've got my best friend is a doctor of biology, and he really wants to go on an Alaskan cruise. You didn't get the e-bike yet, okay? Um, let's we need to talk at some point, Robert. We got to see how close we are to getting that for you, and then get that for you. Yeah, if we could get a veteran cruise out of here, that'd be fun. Because yeah, that's the one I'm doing out of Florida. It's primarily veterans and streamers. And it's just people that we've met and built this circle. Your health won't let you ride an e-bike? Okay. We can talk about that. Temecula is a beautiful place. Like, I don't like the part where it's like where the mall is, where it's all built up, but Wine Country and Old Town, very nice. And that's the only thing is like they're still developing it, and it's like honestly, I don't like the homes that they're putting in. They're putting in these huge homes with no yards. California loves putting homes right on top of one another. It's like you're back in either the East Coast, which if you're in Boston and your home is got a shared wall with your neighbor, I get it. But out here, we have tons of land. Like there's no yard. And what that causes people to put up these 8-foot concrete walls because they want privacy. Trike maybe? Yeah. There you go, Robert. Did the so did the people because I contacted both your congressman and your local state senator. Did, were they able to help you at all? You don't have to go into details if you just want to say yes or no. Because that's the thing. Like SSI, like once you get SSI, that can be a really helpful thing. Getting more coffee. More coffee. I think I've got cinnamon raisin bagels. I think I'm gonna toast one of those and put some peanut butter on it and have that for breakfast. Uh, what other headlines is there anything you guys, for those of you who have a link, if you want to join, like I told Bestie, she can come on. TC, you can always come on. But any of you guys who have, if you want to come on, there's not a whole lot of like stuff I really wanted to talk about. There's a couple things, and I've already talked about them. But if there's something you want to talk about, I've got time this morning. Crypto's richest man pleads for pardon. Oh, it's Champagne Zhao. Champagne Zhao. His company Binance. I got one call, wasn't any help. Okay. Um, we can talk about that and re-engage. Because yeah, again, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And maybe it's a thing of we just have to break it down into because sometimes when people need help, we need to get to the root of the problem. What will really help you? Because some people say, "Oh, I need this," and then when you start talking to them, that's just a symptom of the problem. Let's try to solve the problem. Once you solve the problem, then all the other stuff becomes easier. Um, Buck naked out here. He's got the Riz. He's got the Riz. um, teen sexting scandal rocks Trump's world. What is this about? Uh, it's the Daily Mail. They sometimes do shit, but look right off the bat, Trump had recently clinched his victory over Kamala Harris. I am Gen Z, MAGA. Okay, like already this is coming from a very political place. I'm doing okay. I'm getting financial aid now. I was living on $20 a month before getting that. Well, we're gonna keep helping you. We're not abandoning you. We're still here. Um, and with SSI, that's where we should engage with your congressperson. Absolutely engage with them. SSI is a federal, even though the states run it, it's a federal program. Clad in Maha baseball hats, hundreds of like-minded attendees crammed into Manhattan bars. DeBono was hired as okay. DeBono was on Fox News. Date right stuff was followed on social media. Okay. Now, an exclusive interview with Daily Mail. DeBono spills the tea about her former boss and claims Make America Hot Again is now hotter than ever without him. If I wanted to, I could destroy John's life. I mean, that's kind of a red flag. You were willing to work with someone who had something you could destroy their life on. That's why you have to be very careful about, like, obviously you can't when you're doing a presidential campaign, but like me doing this show, I'm very careful about the people I align with. You're buck naked is a moral skirt chasing rascal. That makes two of us buck naked. I have a phone interview with Social Security on the 25th. Okay. Well, if you need assistance, I'm happy to help. Jesus Christ, they buried the lead on this. 2 years after that, after leaving McTee launched date right stuff. Okay. So what's the problem here? Cruel Kids Table. When a homeless person asks for money, I give them a fake $5 bill. Okay. It's a TikTok video. It's not necessarily serious. Maybe it is. He was detained for passing a $20 bill at a convenience store. Okay. Was he arrested? Because detained is not a big deal. Like, there's nothing there. The cops couldn't make an arrest. Like, I could give someone Monopoly money and it be a joke. If he wasn't arrested, he wasn't arrested. Trying to say this, you're bordering on defamation. Was accused of sending inappropriate message via Instagram to two 18-year-old women. Okay, well, 18-year-old, they're 18, they're adults. Is this the teen that they're talking about? He was outwardly kind to her. I've seen his DMs. I don't. I'm bored with this story. They buried the lead, like, and then they're talking about all these things that's like, oh, this is a big deal. Is it? Because the cops didn't arrest him. They didn't even get to an arrest. Okay, you went to the DMV to get yourself an ID. Okay. And there are online bank accounts that you can get too. I don't remember their names. I'll have to look them up. Also, if you have family members, okay, if you have family members who served in the military, you can join USAA, and to another extent, you can join Navy Federal. So I use Navy Federal, and here's why. Walgreens uses Navy Federal. So using these online banks, yeah, USAA does have branches, but like I think the nearest one to me is like over 150 miles away. Kind of the same thing with Navy Federal in most cases. Like when I go to Ohio, there's no Navy Federal, but every Walgreens has a Navy Federal ATM. They have a contract with Navy Federal. So as long as there's a Walgreens, I know I can still do my banking, at least at the ATM. I can deposit checks, I can withdraw money, do all that stuff. Chime is great online. Okay, yeah, TC, yeah, there you go. Chime. I was trying to think. Chime, and now Cash App and Venmo are doing they're doing banking stuff now. Like you can get a debit card or a credit card through them. So they do have that. Oh yeah, yeah, Bone Crusher. Uh, so yeah, Ray Bone Crusher is admitting that they were helping um, Lynette, and the thing about that is that in the What the Hales case, that's an admission that yeah, this was a concerted effort. Like that dummy just made it completely. What I say, like completely, backed up. What's this? Oh, Levy County Ship Housing Assistance Program. Someone posted. Oh, Lynette posted this. Let's take a look and see what it is. Here we sit deeper in a hole than when we met any of them, and I'm the liar and cheat and whatever. I'm not the liar and never have been on any side. And that's false. I do know I do now have the handwriting report to prove that I did not, in fact, write any signs, and I will show it at the appropriate time. Sure. Everybody has used us to make money on YouTube, and I guess all over the place. Well, that's true too. She could absolutely, like, that money was raised in her name and Harley Grace's name. This one I did see. Yeah, I'll put this one up. That money was raised in their name. She has a right to that money. The bank account is for Social Security to deposit if I get approved. Okay. Okay. PayPal not doing cards now. They probably are. So, it derails to drama and stupidity. Well, I mean, I offered you to come on, TC. You could have come on and said, okay, I want to talk about this stuff, but now people in the chat want to talk about this. Boy, was I stupid. I'm shocked beyond measure. She said she did not have any t-shirts or merch with Harley's name on it. I guess our stalker isn't the only one who caught the money bug. I tried the link and it worked. Debunked. I guess my child has become everybody's prey. Money is the root of all evil. My heart is shattered. I have never given anyone permission to use my child's name or anything, but she will say that I can't prove it's all about my Harley Grace. So sad. Well, you could sue. Okay, you could sue. You could call the sheriff. Lynette, you could call the sheriff and you could sue. You could get, money for them using her name and likeness. That money, like I said earlier in the show, a portion of that money that they used would have to be put aside for Harley Grace when she turns 18 as part of Coogan's Law. But you could sue today. Instead, you're still focused on Jeremy Hales. Again, this is people with mental illnesses they can't get past. Like she's still focused on Jeremy while people are really doing bad things to her and her family. But because she can't get past Jeremy because she thought Jeremy was her meal ticket, um, she's letting all these people use and abuse her and her family. Had to get a photo ID to get a bank account. Yeah. Trying to see what else is bunch of boomer memes. Hey, there's parts of the audience who want to talk about the Jeremy Hill stuff, and that's okay. That's okay. Today, especially today, I can be here for hours today. I got nothing planned. My driver's license is a 30-day temporary paper license. I keep getting extended due to being blind in one eye. You should have Medi-Cal, Robert. You should be on Medi-Cal because you don't have income. So you should not have to have money for an eye doctor. Some of these people try to sell their used stuff here, but they want top dollar, and it's junk. It's junk. Like, it's funny because you can go to a thrift store in 29 Palms and get like brand new jeans, okay? Like nice jeans, 15, 20 bucks, right? Then you could see the same pair of jeans in the town of Joshua Tree, one town over, $80. Because, oh, well, these are vintage designer jeans. Go fuck yourself. But these stupid LA people will pay it. Would that be Lynette trauma dumping on Jeremy or anyone who didn't listen to her? Oh, absolutely. Yeah, that's a part of it. And apparently Fleesa talked about that the other night, how she never shuts up. Well, yeah, it's she's looking for energy. Again, people who need therapy. My medical doesn't cover having doctors fill out forms. Yeah, but Medi-Cal, if you have a doctor and they do an eye exam, like that would be a part of it. And really, it's probably your doctor, to be honest. I've seen that where one doctor who is Medi-Cal, um, they're great and they're helping people, and then you got those others who just treat it like it's an inconvenience. Lisa also said her stories never match. Well, that's true too. I had that in my Otter Creek, Lynette and Friends thing. Like, she always changes her story. Her supporters. Oh, and blast from the past. Paul Hembry tried to join the Veteran Nation Facebook group. Uh, like, how bad is Paul? Spawn was able to out him. um, Mama Coop is here. Good morning. I'm gonna put a link to Mama Coop. We're getting Mama Coop close. We picked up a few more subscribers yesterday. I did notice that. She's at 594. Here's a link to Mama Coop's show. Make sure you guys subscribe to it, send it to a friend, be like, hey, just subscribe to my friend. Just subscribe to my friend. That's all you gotta do. So this is an attack near the CDC at Emory University. I did see a cop died. The officer killed was 33-year-old DeKalb police officer David Rose. Georgia Bureau of Investigation is the suspect is Patrick Joseph White of Kennesaw, Georgia. He was Died of a gunshot wound on the second floor of a building that includes a CVS store. So they're saying near the CDC. So that tells me not the CDC is not a target. Like when they're saying near, the OG grifter is mad because she got scammed by a better scammer. True, but that better scammer broke the law, and she could absolutely take her to jail and try to get all that money. Will she? Doubtful, because she's still too focused on Jeremy. And oh, the report shows that I didn't write the signs. Uh-huh. Sure. No one believes that. Ooh, here's a new car finally worth it. Trump tax break changes the math. Let's see. Let's look at this. Okay, Trump's tax break changes math for car buyers. For value-minded customers, used cars are generally considered a better deal than new cars. Does the new Trump tax break change that equation? One Big Beautiful Bill Act promises no tax on car loan interest. It's one of several novel tax cuts in the new law. Here's what that no tax provision actually means. Between now and 2028, car buyers may deduct the interest they pay on new car loans. The tax break goes away in 2029. There are several caveats among them. You can't deduct more than $10,000 interest in a year. Okay. The deduction phases out of your modified adjusted income. Here, I'm going to switch my thing so you guys can probably read this better. There we go. Close that. I'm trying to see if there's some way I can make this. Okay. Oh, well. There we go. Where did that go? It was over here on the side. Oh, here we go. Okay. Can't deduct more than 10% or $10,000 interest in a year. Sounds like Voss needs 11 subs to hit 1K. Please post a link to that. Has anyone got a link to Voss? NFL shooter setup. They claimed he did it for Palestine. Yeah, that sounds like a bunch of BS to me too. The deduction phases out of your modified adjusted gross income exceeds $100,000 or $200,000 for a married couple filing jointly. That's actually not too bad. The tax break doesn't work with used cars or loans taken out before 2025. The vehicle must have its final assembly in the U.S. I do like that. President Trump tailored the tax break to reward automakers for building vehicles in America, consumers for buying them. Is it big enough to change the dynamics of a car marketplace? Probably not. It may very slightly privilege the vehicles that are being built domestically, but in the end, we don't think this will be much of an impact. It's just not a big number, and it's not going to be around for a while. It's a deduction, not a credit. Tax credits reduce how much tax you owe. $10,000 tax credit lowers your tax bill by $10,000. Tax deductions reduce your taxable income. If you're paying a 22% tax rate, 10% deduction, $10,000 deduction lowers your tax bill by $2,200. In practice, few taxpayers are likely to ring up anywhere near $10,000 to deduct interest on a new car. Estimates the average buyer might save about $500 a year with the new tax break, which isn't nothing. Very true. $23K price gap separates new and used cars. Okay. We're finding the average loan now, the buyer's paying about $2,000 a year in interest. That new tax break would save them about $400 in annual savings. Would take about 58 years to save $23,000 on a new car. Well, they're not trying to save $23,000. We're just trying to incentivize people buying, which this does help. Car buyers paying an inordinate premium for new vehicles. Old axiom holds that a new car loses $1,000 in value when you drive off the lot. That's true. Figures is hopelessly dated, right? Given the rising cost of new cars, and they lose at least 10% of their value the first day you own them. A lot of these numbers they just don't apply. But if someone's in the market for a new car, this could change what they buy, is really what this comes to. Now, would I like to see more tax write-offs and incentives? Absolutely, I would. I think this is definitely a start, and I think more is coming. So while they're like, "Oh, this doesn't do anything," I think it will help people who are in the market for a new car. Right, Robert. Like I was talking earlier about Mr. Wells. Like when you ask for help, we got to get to the solution of the problem. Yeah, having a bed for Harley is way more important than an e-bike or rocks. And yeah, she was buying rocks from Fleesa. I want to take this time to thank all the people who've helped Veteran Nation become a thing and be so successful. But most importantly, I would like to thank the rocks of Obsidian, Tiger's Eye, and Amorite, because they really kept off the bad energy to help them. I couldn't keep it up. I couldn't keep it up. Thank you to my rocks. A $45 rock, right? Hey, if anyone wants rocks, Skipper's got you. I got tons of rocks right outside. You need some rocks, and I will put good energy into them. I will recharge it with veteran energy. Sandra Bullock. Does anyone care about Sandra Bullock anymore? Christy Nome slams South Park for lazy betrayal. Like, why would you even make that comment? Like, that's stupid. Someone said, I'd like to see a Home Alone sequel starring Macaulay Culkin as an adult, fending off adult killers, like on like a purge night. That would be funny. The number one spot from Georgie or Paul? What number one spot? There's Koopy. Kylie Jenner, don't fucking care. I'm looking at these headlines. These headlines suck. Greg Gutfeld went on Jimmy Fallon. How is that even a freaking headline? Oh yeah, Freakier Friday opened last night. Timu Town is coming. Oh my God. That would be funny. I'm telling you, Willis hires he hires a lawyer. Otter Creek's gonna back way the fuck down. I caught 28 mice so far on the glue traps I was sent. Do you need more? Let us know. These headlines suck. Starbucks closing entire line of stores. Well, good, because Starbucks fucking blows, dude. If you want me to think you're an idiot, tell me how much you love Starbucks. Their coffee is not even good. Hmm. This article said, "I'll never buy a new car again. You shouldn't either." It's an opinion piece. I really don't care about that. I will say this: American car companies, well, actually, car companies in general, need to start giving us what we want. I want a car. I want the Tesla driverless feature. Start doing that. Air Force is kicking out trans and not allowing early retirement. Yes, I did see that. Um, I mean, I could have told you that's where it was going to go. That pendulum always swings back and forth. But Your Honor, you don't understand. Timu Town is coming. I'm going to switch to CNN. Used to go to Pete's Coffee when I drank. Pete's isn't bad. Not bad. Zelensky vows Ukraine will not give up land. Well, it's been taken, Zelensky. You lost it. So unless if you can take it back, it would behoove you to move for peace. We're having a war on who gets the number one spot for commenting. Hey, that helps me. The more comments, the more we get boosted. You're opposed to the driverless cars? Here's why I want the driverless cars. When I drive, most times it's through rural areas where it's just so, oh my God, it's just so bad. And yeah, if I had a driver, like in the city, I get it. No driverless cars in a city. Got it. But out here where I am, yeah. With my eyesight, I should have a driverless car, right? That's what people really do want. And like if we start moving towards that, what'll happen is the cars will start sending out signals to each other in a small radius. So it'll get better at recognizing, okay, here's where all the cars are. Kicking them out and taking away their, oh, okay. Sorry about that, TC. I mean, the way I look at, I don't know about taking away the retirement. They'll probably be able to sue and get that. If they did 20 years and they followed the rules at the time they were the rules, fine. The problem is not all these people followed the rules when they were rules, and accountability is a big thing in the military. Yeah, we did show her post, Coop. But I'm more interested in Bone Crusher. Like, what an idiot. I did see where one university is, they now have security drones flying around their campus. That's not going to make anyone safer. A lot of these people, they're like, oh yeah, we need more security cameras. Security cameras are a deterrent, but they don't actually prevent crime. And they also don't always solve crime. I mean, they can help for, what happened. But pretending that they are, I used to have the same thing about red light cameras. Pretending that they are a replacement for police officers is wrong. We may not like them, but they served. And when the rules change in every admin, you don't punish the service members. Yeah, I think it should be a case by case look at, did they follow the rules? And if when Trump came in, they said, okay, I'm dropping my retirement papers because I'm trans and I'm getting out. Okay, you dropped your papers. Like, there was an attempt to follow the rules. The comments are always gold. That's true. The gold is always in the comments. Ooh. Here's a good thing we can talk about. U.S. military bases are fortresses that guard against external threats. But what happens when the threat comes from within? Fort Stewart, Georgia houses the Army's vaulted 3rd Infantry Division, 20,000 soldiers strong. It was a headquarters of Division 2nd Armored Brigade team described as most lethal and fit armored brigade combat unit. 5 soldiers were wounded Wednesday when authorities said a 28-year-old active duty sergeant pulled out a personal weapon and opened fire. Latest shooting in a military fortress, long accustomed to guarding against external threats, demonstrates that no amount of physical security can totally protect soldiers when the threat comes from within. You can never have total protection. I'm just going to say that right here and now. As a veteran, as someone who's been has been in a combat zone. Sorry, I screwed up my thing. You can never have complete and total protection. Security cameras catch more cops breaking the laws and violating the rights of people when they do to stop criminals. That's true too. We're seeing that quite a bit. So I've seen the old hate group, old Ray Bonesucker admitted, I believe he was wrong or something. He admitted they were helping Lynette. Okay. And that is, they've been doing these delays, and that will be their next thing is, no, we weren't working together. We were all just independent people, just doing independent stuff. Ray, absolutely, like the emails would have shown it, but Ray just came out and said, yeah, we were all helping Lynette. Like, so they were working in concert. It's a conspiracy at that point. DQ delivers. Not to me. My nearest DQ is 45 minutes away. I do like DQ stuff, though. Native, yeah. Everyone should have cams on their houses. Absolutely. Should have a camera on your house. If you put one in your house, be very careful because that can be subject to subpoena. But you should have one outside your house, at least showing the perimeter of your house. I'll say that. I have cameras on the outside of my house. And they're very inexpensive to get nowadays. So, yeah, everyone needs dash cams. Absolutely. That's another thing. All these new cars, like Tesla they're breaking the mold. They have built-in cameras. All these car companies, you should do what Tesla did and put 360 cameras. 360 cameras and driverless options. Absolutely. And the thing is, I just rented a Kia that had driver assist. Like, literally, it was turning the wheel on me. Like, they can do it. They can do it today. Do it. Just do it. If I want to turn it off, I should have the ability to turn it off. I should have that ability. But yeah, you should have dash cams. Absolutely. You should have cameras around the around the exterior of your home. Absolutely. And don't think it's going to stop porch pirates. Don't think it's going to stop someone from coming onto your property. It is not. However, when someone comes onto your property, You now have proof. We have 4, no one can get on our property without being seen. Yep. LP thinks she did not have to turn over discovery, that the judge did not order her to do so. She is going to bring all her info when they start the court trial. That's not how that works. That's not how that works. Evidentiary procedures, not how that works. Anything she brings, if it wasn't given in discovery, yep, not admissible. Yes, always record every interaction you have with any person in government. Yes, yes. Do not talk to the cops. I had a discussion with an attorney this week. A discussion this week, and I told him when the last couple times I've been in an interaction with police, I have stated that I am going to assert my 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendment rights. And that, that's what I said. And he was like, that's perfect right there. That is perfect. I don't think there's any way to ever prepare for every single possible insider threat. True. The violence has renewed concerns about safety of American service members. Well, the problem is the military has been focused, especially the MPs have been focused on other shit. It doesn't let me close that ad. Yeah, they've been focused on other shit. Latest shooting was terrifying. He really didn't do much. He injured 5 people and was taken down. The problem is the military, you cannot open carry on a military. So the people who were taking him down were unarmed. And the military does that because they believe, well, we have enough security, so you're safe. And as you're seeing, gun-free zones do not make people safe. Yeah, they have been doing active shooter and insider threat training, absolutely. But you guys have seen in my case, when they get notified of an insider threat, I was attacked. I was attacked by base personnel. It didn't happen on base, but guess what? That's an insider threat. I was told that it was irrational of me to think that the people who attacked me would not attack me on base. They have way more protection on base. So why would they not attack me? See, a lot of this stuff, they started doing this when I was still active duty. They started, we're going to do QRF and roving patrols on base armed. I was against that because you have more of a chance of someone having negligent discharge and getting someone than you do an active shooter when you do that. Now, they should be doing more MP patrols. They should be doing more of those, but they don't. When MPs start patrolling, it's more to look for DUIs. Like I've told several sergeant majors, they're like, we need to get Marines back to the clubs. And I'm like, look, the clubs are dead, especially this base. The clubs are in the middle of base, so you have to drive to them. Why would I drive to a bar and go drink when PMO is sitting right outside waiting to bust me? What they should do is take all of those clubs and move them closer to base housing, so then they're within walking distance. So yeah, people can go over, meet up with their neighbors, make it like a corner bar type thing, have some drinks and enjoy it, and then you're walking home. No threat of a DUI. Why are people showing all this JFK stuff? JFK Jr. stuff. Cameras come in handy for more than just police interaction. That's true too. But just know, if you're going to put a camera in your house, do not advertise it. This is the problem with people doing cameras. Like, if you do a camera in your house, don't talk about it. Don't talk about it. It's like when people back during COVID, and people were like, "I'm not getting. You can't make me get the vaccine," or "I got the vaccine." Stop talking about it. I always said then, no, just say that's a private medical decision that I don't want to disclose, whether I did or didn't do it. There you go. No one can force you to say that because it is a private medical decision. And you're seeing that with all the lawsuits of all the people were fired. For those who if had they said it's a private medical decision, I'm not under any obligation to disclose that. Oh, those people who did that absolutely won their cases because the judges, yeah, that's a medical decision and it's private. Your worker, unless if your worker has a need to know, and those need to knows are very few and far between. If you work in an office, your employer doesn't need to know your vaccine status. Um, Now, if you're operating heavy equipment, okay, yeah, maybe they do. Maybe if you're a truck driver or you're a pilot, maybe they do that. There's an argument to be made there. But if if you're working in a billing department, there is no reason for your employer to know if you've been vaccinated. None whatsoever. Because the thing is, they could say, okay, well, you could do your job from home. Uh, uh, I just saw what Georgie posted. That's funny. I'm not gonna talk about. That's for you guys to talk about. As a truck driver, they do not need to know if you had the COVID shot. Um, that is so. If you're a truck driver, you are operating heavy machinery. Someone could make a case for it, and I could see where a judge could rule against you. But if you work in the billing section, I don't see where any judge is going to say no. Your employer needs to know that information. A lot of companies were requiring them to show proof of the jab before letting them work. That's true. And those companies have gotten sued rightfully um, because they were relying on an OSHA law. But the OSHA law says it must be FDA approved, not FDA um, emergency use authorized. That's the difference. And that's why a lot of those people are winning lawsuits because the companies, well, OSHA said this. OSHA didn't say exactly that, and that's not an approved FDA drug. It was emergency use authorized. Um, I know this. Well, I mean, yeah, you could make a case against it as a truck driver, Yankee Bell, but there's also like people who could make a case for it. Is what I'm saying. Like with a truck driver, you're operating heavy equipment depending on the type of truck you're driving. Obviously, you have a CDL, and that CDL gives the government more intrusion into your life. Um, and you make a choice to be a CDL truck driver, and that's how the court looks at it. So, can we make can we address the stupidity of the phrase OSHA law? We'll talk about unconstitutional. Um, there are OSHA laws. There are. Congress passed them. Um, there are regulations through OSHA too, which, uh, you know, the Congress gave OSHA the power to write regulations. The problem that we had for many years was the Chevron doctrine, and I am so glad that that is gone because now OSHA, EPA, FCC, all these places that made regulations, now those regulations can actually come under scrutiny. The court in the Chevron doctrine just gave away all scrutiny, um, which is bullshit, absolute bullshit. But yeah, the administration has a right to write regulations. They do. But we should be able to challenge those regulations. Absolutely. Um, and the good thing is people have been, and it's been very effective here recently. Like the people were they had a ditch in their front yard, and so many rural people have a ditch in their front yard. The EPA was saying that that was a navigable waterway, and allowed them to then uh, tell the people what they could and could not do on their land. That is a crazy overreach. There's no navigable waterway. Like a ditch will fill up, and it might be navigable during a time of high rain, but not permanently. And that's the whole point of navigable waterway. OSHA itself is a violation of the Constitution, like the IRS, FBI, DEA, HHS, Department of Education. I mean, you can challenge all that. Good luck with it. I don't think. I'd have to think about the FBI, DEA, and HHS. Department of Education, IRS, I agree with you. I've never looked at those other three and the underlying documents because there are at the time of the founding there were federal law enforcement institutions, and the big one is the U.S. Marshals. So those did exist, as well as customs agents. Um, Customs houses were absolutely a thing at the time of the founding. So I will have to look at the things for those because I got a feeling that they're the law basis that they're constitutionally relying on is those same things for U.S. Marshals and customs agents. Alphabet agencies are trash. Well, that is true. But again, it's just like when we talk about the Second Amendment. You have to go back to the founding of the country, what and the laws that were passed then. How did the founding fathers view those? And I mean, officers of the United States was absolutely a thing at the time of the founding. It's in the Bill of Rights. They're mentioned. So, where is the constitutional basis? We have at least some. How strong is it? The DEA and ATF, I will say this, should not exist as a separate organization. Those should be a part of the FBI or Customs and Border Protection. They should not be their own agencies. They are fulfilling a role that those other agencies should be doing. Much like the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard does a lot of DEA type of functions. They should have that right to do that. We should not have a separate organization for that. If you want to do an internal board across agencies for the DEA or ATF, that would be perfectly legal. Hey, the Coast Guard's doing these drug operations. The FBI needs to know about it. Absolutely. But the DEA be a separate agency, the ATF a separate? No, I don't. Like those should go away. But as far as the FBI, I mean, it didn't always exist. Um, the FBI, the basis for the FBI was through the Department of Justice was created under Ulysses S. Grant, and a lot of that was because of Reconstruction and a lot of what was going on with that. But we had other agencies with law enforcement power, like Bureau of Indian Affairs. That existed back then. So it'll be hard to challenge some of those, I think. I'm willing to look at the laws out on. We wouldn't need the DEA if we stopped criminalizing consenting adults partaking in recreational drug use. Only make it worse. I think the DEA, I don't think marijuana should be criminal. I can see the need for some Schedule C drugs. Like, we shouldn't just be able to go and buy cocaine, or heroin. Like, those are medical drugs and should be regulated. I do agree with that. I know there are people who disagree with me. Just because you're a consenting adult doesn't mean that the government can't come into your life. And that is also true at the time of the founding. Well, folks, I think I'm going to get going. I'm going to start my day. Did an hour and a half show, so I'm pretty happy. All right, folks, I'll be around if y'all need me. If Jay Wells is still here, feel free to get in touch with me, and we can start a discussion, try to get you some help. Please go and subscribe to Mill2 Vet, subscribe to MBRR Podcast, subscribe to Coke, meth, and heroin should not be illegal either. I definitely don't agree on heroin and meth. Those are medical drugs which should be regulated. Cocaine, I could see some uses for some cocaine. I could see some uses for it, legal uses. Much just like nitrous oxide. Yeah, make sure you subscribe to AVA and Mama Coop as well. I appreciate you guys all being here, and I'm going to get going. I'm going to go have some breakfast. And as always, thank you for being worth serving.
Coffee brewing as the sun peeks through the haze. Birds are chirping, serenading morning's praise. Front porch creaks as dreams fade away. America's awakened to a brand new day. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Loose print smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Old vinyl spinning a sweet old tune. Day starts dancing under a sleepy moon. Newsprint smudges on fingers of grace. America's awakened at her own steady pace. Sips of sunshine in a coffee cup. Simple moments lifting spirits up. From the mountains to the sandy shore. Morning in America, want just a little more. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Neighbors waving with a friendly rise. Kids with backpacks chasing daylight skies. Eyes cooling on a windowsill so fine. America's awakened with a heart full of shine. Tractors rumble, fields coming alive. Big wheels turning where hopes and dreams strive. Laughter echoes down the old dirt road. America's awaking to lighten her load. America's awaking to lighten her load.